Ladies and gentlemen, how are you today? Well, I'll tell you what, I'm doing good, and I'm really excited because I got one of my favorite people on the internet with me today. His name is Jeremy, also known as DDayCobra. What's up, dog?
What's going on, Adam? Happy to be here, man. Looking forward to it.
You know,
Um,
it's about
mm,
time.
it is about time. I mean, you've been on my channel way too many times, and finally I've
Wait,
had to
what? What does
pay
that mean?
way too. Well, if you let me finish, Adam, way too many times for me not to pay it back. So I'm here to pay it back
Mm,
because that's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to pay it back. Look
yeah.
out for your bros on YouTube, and that's what I'm doing here with Adam. So happy to be here. Happy to hear all about Crigler Coffee. I think that's the only reason I'm here is just for him to
Hey,
tell me about Crigler Coffee, and then hopefully you'll go buy Crigler Coffee, and then he makes money, and I go back to playing Fortnite so he can roast me about that. That's pretty much it. So
you brought up a couple different points there. Let me see if I can address. I actually don't plug my own coffee enough on my show. I
I know it.
probably,
That's
I
that's why
probably
I'm
should
here.
plug it more. Thank you. Yeah,
Yeah.
that is the only reason I brought you on. So thank you for coming, and you have a wonderful day. Thank you, everybody. So that was the show. I hope you're not disappointed. I'm just kidding. Okay, but hold on. You said something else that I got to make fun of you. Let's just get it out of the air. All right, let's talk about it. You're playing Fortnite, and hold on, I'm not done. I'm not done. Okay, and we were just talking about this before we went live, and you said you made fun of it for years,
Mm-hmm.
and
Yes.
and so have I, and I will
Yes. Yes.
maintain making fun of Fortnite forever because I can. I can always say I've never played it and I never will. You can't say that anymore. Please explain
Well,
yourself.
okay.
Explain
So
yourself, sir.
with Fortnite, it's a combination of things. It's a combination of the fact that all of my favorite shooting games are broken or dead. As I've said, Halo
Okay.
Infinite is broken.
Yep.
We were playing a lot of Halo Infinite. Warzone was a really fun game until they completely broke it with their
What happened with Warzone?
update. So Warzone had their main map, which is Verdansk, and that was the main map. And then they were this big thing. Oh, we're gonna blow up Verdansk, and there's gonna be an all new map. And as soon as they blew up Verdansk, which was the main map that they were playing, and then they released Caldera, I think, which aesthetically I think it looks cool, but the
Mhm.
game has been completely broken
Just
since this
buggy.
update. Like, it was so bad. It was so
Okay.
bad. The map is boring. It's not the same map. Now you do have Rebirth Island, which is a smaller map that's a much more playable. But point is Warzone was broken. Titanfall 2, which is one of my all-time favorite games, which it wasn't a battle royale, but it was still an online multiplayer shooter. Dead, got destroyed by hackers. Fortnite's
Uh,
really the only legitimate shooting game that it works, but that wasn't the selling point.
Go
It
on.
was the no building feature that they added, and it
Right.
fundamentally changed the game. And there's a Snake Eye skin in there from G.I. Joe, which to this day, I really haven't had a good G.I. Joe video game. So the best
Okay.
version of Snake Eyes in a video game is Fortnite. So there we go. That's where we're at.
I love that you can't say it with a straight face.
It's so crazy. I can't believe I'm playing Fortnite.
That's funny. Yeah, me neither. All right, but let's bring it back. Let's talk about you for a little while. And by a little while, I mean that's the only reason you're here right now because I want to find out more about who you are. Where are you from? Are Alabama? Is that what you said? You're from?
Yes, I am. I hate to try I have to just for clarification purposes. So I was born and raised in Alabama, but when I say I was
Born.
born and
Okay.
raised, I was technically on a technicality, I was actually born in a hospital in Georgia because we lived in Phoenix City, Alabama, which is literally on the
Oh, okay.
Alabama Georgia border. Like it's like right there.
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
so at the time, my mother was, at her mother's house, which is like right over the border. So I was born in Georgia. That pisses me off as a football fan. But yes, I was, I lived in Alabama until I was about 15 years old, and then moved to Florida. Moved around a little bit in between there, obviously, but Florida pretty much since I've been 15. So
And you're still in Florida?
yes, Pensacola, Florida.
Man, Florida really is just screaming, please come live here.
It's the best. It's by far the best state. I've always loved the state of Florida in terms of just the weather, the beaches, the things that it offered prior to political propaganda, like the theme parks and all the going back to even like having the Daytona International Speedway, because I used to
Right.
be a big NASCAR fan before that got politicized. You've got, major football teams, you got major basketball teams. You just got a lot here. Now I live in lower Alabama because it's right below Alabama. So I live in what we call the redneck Riviera of Florida, which is the panhandle.
Right.
So it's
Okay.
still technically Alabama here. So I live in LA. I'm from LA. That's kind of how I work. But yeah, Florida's fantastic. Ron DeSantis is not even close. He's the best governor in the United States of America. But what's scary, and I've talked about this a lot, what's scary is that Ron DeSantis, without Trump's endorsement, might not have won, and we would have had Andrew Gillum.
I don't know anything
how close
about
it was.
who that guy is.
He was the one that after DeSantis won, he got busted in Miami in a hotel, drugs and prostitutes and gay men passed out. And like, this was the guy who was in a few percentage points of running the state of Florida.
Oof.
Without the Trump endorsement, that guy might be running this state right now. That is terrifying. That is absolutely terrifying.
And it really makes you wonder which governor, any political position, what these people really do behind closed doors. I feel like we know.
I feel like we know. Again, it's my whole, those that preach the loudest have the most to hide, and Gillum was out there preaching social justice propaganda and diversity and representation, and we have to be better. And I'm like, anybody that says that has got something to hide. Like, you see Ron DeSantis out there, he ain't making no bones about it. Obviously, we know he's a good family man, and he cares about his family and all of that, but he's not there to beat around the bush. He's there to say, like, no, this is what we're going to do, because we're not going to allow you to, ruin the lives of children. Like, he's not out there pushing like some virtue signal. He's saying what every normal thinking person says. Like, yeah, leave kids alone.
Yeah. It is really refreshing hearing from DeSantis. He doesn't do these interviews. He doesn't do these social media posts. Like, he's the politician that I want politicians to be like. There's one thing that someone said, I don't like the fact that Florida's got red flag laws, and that's DeSantis. And it's like, well, is it DeSantis? Did he do that? Or, was that in place? Because, the government, it's never just one person.
Right.
So I don't know. I don't look too deeply into DeSantis because, I try to cover. I almost dilute myself too much sometimes because I'm trying to like cover all sorts of different things. But from what I've seen of DeSantis, I really like that. I love that he really just tells it like it is.
Well, nobody's going to be perfect. No politician's going to be perfect, and no candidate's going to be perfect. They're just not. I think that Ron DeSantis is absolutely the future of American politics. I think that he is there's a far more upside to him than Trump, but but Trump is obviously still the man, and he still has the most influence and the most power, and he's still going to be the most important man in the room, no matter who's in the room. It's always going to be Trump as long as Trump is able to walk in that room, and he just is. So I think right now DeSantis needs to stay in Florida, continue to, because it's a very crucial state through the Electoral College. And I think he's absolutely the future, though, moving forward.
Do you think Trump is going to run in 2024?
100%.
Do you think DeSantis is going to run in 2024?
No.
You don't think so?
Nope. I think DeSantis is a very smart guy. I think Donald Trump has an ego bigger than anything that we've ever seen. And I think that anybody, no matter how much you love Trump or hate Trump, I think we all agree the man's ego is ginormous. There's no way that he's not going to run when he's clearly the front runner. You had the CPAC straw poll. Trump destroyed DeSantis in the straw poll. I mean, it wasn't even close. He's got the juice. He's got the power. He's got the influence. I think DeSantis is smart enough to realize that trying to create any type of divide right now is going to be detrimental, and it will only help the Democrats.
That's a good point.
So I think DeSantis is smart enough to recognize that 2028 is his time. Trump get back in there, blow things up, and then DeSantis comes in there as literally the perfect politician. That's who he is. He's a perfect, and I don't mean that in a negative way. I just mean that like look at the guy's resume. It's unbelievable.
Well, it's funny because you started this little I don't want to say rant, but the response to what I was saying by saying no one's perfect. Yeah. And then you just ended it with, but he's the perfect candidate or the perfect politician. It's like, and right. I want to add to that because too many people are assuming that there is a perfect person out there,
Right.
which, as you stated, does not exist.
Right.
So what the perfect politician would be is someone who is as close to, you know, what you would want as possible, right?
Well, yeah,
Because
I mean,
we gotta be, reality exists. We gotta accept reality.
Well, what I mean by that is that if you look at his past, if you look at everything that he's done up to this point, there's no red flags in his past. There's no gotcha moments that they're going to come. The guy has an impeccable record up to this point, and that's prior to being a politician. So
Right.
then you get to the point of now look at the job he's done in Florida. And of course, like I said, the left will find all the things wrong with him in the world, and there might be some Republicans that find things wrong. But in terms of what needs to happen to move this country forward, he's the perfect guy for that job. He's the perfect guy. And he has far more upside than Trump because he's far more eloquent.
True.
And he's not going to be as disruptive and abrasive as Trump. And so to me, he has a higher ceiling, but he can't defeat Trump head to head. Can't do it.
Okay. So let's talk about you, though. So you've been living in Florida for a long time. What made you, did you think you were going to be on the internet, being a personality, talking about games, talking about politics online? What did you think you were going to do?
I was very content. Yeah, I was very content with working in the retail industry, which is what I did. I worked I dropped out of high school because I did not work well in structure in school. I just didn't.
Okay.
I don't like structure. I don't like rules. I don't like to be controlled. And so at a point, like, I would just be skipping school and playing basketball or football or just doing my thing. I was really rebellious in school, like to a point where if there was 100 math problems, I would do the first 10, get them all right, and turn it in with 90 of them wrong and say, I'm not wasting my time because you need your 8 hours a day to get paid. Like, I'm just not, like, I was very, very rebellious from that perspective. And so, I took a job at 17 years old at a grocery store called Food World, which was a pretty widespread company in the Southeast, part of Bruno's. So they had 300-400 stores within the Southeast. And it was my first job as a bag boy. Yeah.
Bag boy. Okay.
And so I took that job at 17. And before I turned 19, I was the number 2 manager in the store. And at 19 years old, when you're a co-manager of a major grocery store chain and you got like all these, cashiers, and you got everybody thinks you're cool, like, oh man, I was driving a 97 Z28 Camaro. Like, I was the coolest kid on the block,
All right.
Yeah. I was making good money. I had a lot of things going for me. Mm-hmm. And I felt like that was the path moving forward, is like, okay, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to work. And I worked my ass off. I mean, I worked when I was a bag boy. And then I moved into, like department clerks and, stocker. I was working now this was back in the day. You can't do this these days, but like, I would work my 40-hour work week and I would work another 30 off the clock just because I'm like, I want to get things done and I want to move up. You know what I mean? So I was determined.
Just curious, what, I don't know if you talk about how old you are, but like, what year was this?
This was like mid 90s.
Okay.
So yeah, because I'm 43. So
okay.
Yeah. And so so I just worked and I was determined to move up. And I did. I moved up and I made really good money. And I did that for several years. And then there's no sense in getting into all of the meat and potatoes of the story, but ultimately the store manager I worked for quit the company. We got a new manager that I had to work directly under. This guy did everything differently. I didn't like what he was doing because I felt like it was detrimental. I kind of butted heads with him. Ultimately, I lost that battle because he was the boss. And then some other stuff with corporate coming in and changing everything we were doing, which the corporate decisions, the people that had never worked in the stores, were affecting the ground level decisions. I'm like, but you guys don't work in the store. You don't see what we're doing. And we're like, well, Jeremy, we have contracts. I don't care if you have contracts. I know what happens in the store. So like, why can't, so I started to realize how much red tape and how much BS happened in the corporate world. And I started to lose control of everything I worked for because I'm like, people that have degrees that have never worked in the store have the ability to make decisions, and their decisions are hurting me, but then I have to answer for the bad performance in the store based on
Right.
decisions I couldn't make. So I started to get really kind of dejected into the retail industry once I started to see how the red tape and the political propaganda, started to affect it. So I still worked there, but I lost my drive for it. And so I just kind of started to try to figure out, like, what do I want to do? And that took a while for me to figure out what I wanted to do because I was still making relatively good money. But I always had an idea in the back of my head that I wanted to do something with video games. And, that kind of idea was always in the back of my head, but it really never was realized until around 2011 when I lived in Montgomery, Alabama, because I had a short time moved back to Alabama because of, like, back then, like in 2011, like there was a lot of like economy problems. Shout out to Barack Obama. But I did for a short time was back in Montgomery, Alabama, because I for the longest I lived in Panama City. When I was 15, I moved to Panama City. And then as I got older, jobs moving me around or whatever, because like I said, I was still in the retail industry, but I lived in Montgomery and I had a group of friends, and we were always playing Call of Duty, Modern Warfare 2, Black Ops. And when Black Ops was out, it was so big. Like, it was so, I'm sure you remember that. Like, everybody was playing Black Ops. Everybody was playing Modern Warfare. And I was just saying to my friends, like, I wish we could play video games in person like we did in the arcade back in the day. Like, I want to play them in person. Like, online's cool. Being in person so you can talk shit to somebody after you killed them and they can't mute you and they can't take, like, that's what I miss.
It's true. I know that feeling. Yeah.
And I passed that idea out there to a couple of my friends. My friends started telling other people, they're like, hey, Jeremy, our friend, he's got this idea that he wants to, maybe set up a game set, like a tournament or something. I'm not sure. So then I started having people come to me and they're like, hey, we heard about your idea. If you need to borrow my Xbox 360 and my copy of Call of Duty, I'll totally lend that to you. And I'm going, whoa, hang on just a minute. Because at this point in time, I had no money, just a retail worker, doing my thing. When I didn't say I didn't have any money, I didn't have any money to invest into like a big project.
Right.
So I'm like, okay, like, that's cool. So more people start coming to me. And so I start going, wait a minute, we can actually like do this. I can actually like do this. So I had a connection at an old Sam's Club building that was closed down. They rented it to me for a night. I didn't know what I was doing, much like today. But I decided, hey, let's just set a date and let's figure this out. So I set a date for like 2 months out. I got some flyers printed up. I've still got the flyers. I've posted them on Twitter before, but Call of Duty Black Ops tournament, set up the date, set up the time. People start telling me, yeah, you can borrow my Xbox, you can borrow my TV, you can borrow my copy of Call of Duty. The idea evolved from there. We did the tournament. It didn't run very well, but people very much appreciated the effort that was being put in place. And that was the early stages of what ultimately became Geeks and Gamers.
Interesting. So it was kind of like esports before esports.
A little bit, right? Yeah, absolutely. Because essentially we set it up and we basically, everybody's bringing in Xbox. I think we had like 15 or 20 Xboxes, which meant 15 or 20 copies of Call of Duty, which meant,
that many TVs,
30 or 40 controllers, that many TVs. So when we start system linking these controllers, now we didn't have internet in this building. So when we start trying to system link the systems, many of them wouldn't talk to each other because some of them weren't updated like the others were. And it created a disaster. But man, I was very frustrated with it. Now we probably had like 100 people show up to this thing, which is mind-blowing to me.
Great. Yeah, that's
mind-blowing. It was so bad. Like, I started at like 7 p.m. and it was meant to end at 9, and it ended up going like 2 o'clock in the morning because none of the systems would talk to each other. But basically everybody that came in, it was like a $20 fee, and all that money went into the pot, and then the top 3 split the pot. I took no money from it. And so everybody appreciated what I was doing. They're like, hey, we know it didn't go like you wanted to, but we really appreciate it. We like that the community has something like this. This was really cool. And so that was where the spark that would ultimately become Geeks and Gamers. That was the spark right there.
That reminds me of going to internet cafes and playing Counter-Strike when I was younger. Like, I'm talking like year 2000. or 2001 or something like that. It was a long time ago. There's an energy about that. I mean, usually you wouldn't be playing with people. I had some buddies that we would team up and we'd sit near each other, but we were facing others online.
Right.
But you said that was like the start that would eventually
Mm-hmm.
become Geeks and Gamers.
Mm-hmm.
How long until Geeks and Gamers was fully formed, and where did the name Geeks and Gamers come from?
So so we did a few more tournaments. So I did that one tournament, and again, while I didn't run like I wanted it to, I got a lot of positive feedback, so people really enjoyed it. So the next tournament we did was a Madden tournament, and that went fantastic as well, and including having a guy that played on. You remember the Madden bus back in the day on ESPN? They used
No.
to have like the Madden bus where these professional players would come on this bus and play Madden and compete. A guy
Okay.
that was on that bus came to our tournament. We had a PlayStation 3 tournament and an Xbox 360 tournament for Madden, different brackets, double elimination. Cool. This dude won both tournaments.
Wow.
This dude was so good. I never wanted to play Madden again because I'm like, why am I even trying? Like, he was incredible, but it went really well. So we had 2 relatively successful tournaments under our belt. Then the third one came. And this was a monumental disaster, the third one. Monumental disaster. Now, the reason it was a disaster because I started to get really confident. I'm like, okay, we did Call of Duty. We did Madden. Now we're going big. We're going to do, we're going to do Marvel versus Capcom. We're going to do Halo. We're going to do Call of Duty. We're going to do Madden. We're going to do all these. It's going to be this elaborate thing. We're bringing all these people in. We're going to get so many people to show up. Well, I scheduled it during spring break and during a big fighting game tournament in Atlanta, Georgia. So no one came. No one. I think maybe 7 or 8 people showed up. It was so embarrassing. It was the most embarrassing thing ever. And it really messed with my head because I was just like, what am I doing? How could I fail this bad? Because we put so much effort into it. We printed flyers up, like everything. It just, for whatever reason, it flopped big time. And I took that kind of, tough, and it messed with my, head. And I'm like, maybe I'm just not cut out for this. Maybe I'm not good. Like anything else. And so I took a few months off of worrying about the tournaments. But I'm like, you know what? I can't let this affect me. I can't let this get me down. We had 2 relatively good tournaments and 1 bad one. And really a lot of it was timing. So I just need to maybe do some more research about what's going on, within the school systems and other places. Maybe that's all I need to do. So the next tournament was a Super Smash Brothers tournament.
Okay.
And that is before that tournament. That's when I came up with Geeks and Gamers. And I came up with the logo, and I came up with t-shirts, and I had it down to where I was let's call it either Calling All Gamers or Geeks and Gamers. And my group of friends were like, Geeks and Gamers, that's that one rings better. That one flows better. And how'd you
come up with it though? Is there any? It does have a good ring to it.
It does have a good ring to it. I don't have any information on how I came up with that other than it just popped in my head. But the logo, I have the story, and the logo is, if you pull up like Green Arrow from Batman the Animated Series, the Geeks and Gamers logo looks exactly like his mask. Because what I envisioned was, when you have Geeks and Gamers, I wanted to have 2 G's. And I wanted the G's to be back to back to look like a superhero mask. And so I threw that idea out there to a few people. The original design was really close to like this other thing that I didn't even know about until later on, which is like some Asus Republic of Gamers thing. So I had to alter the design.
I do. So I actually have one of those.
Yeah.
I don't know what product I have of theirs, but it came with those stickers. And I was like, oh, this looks familiar.
Yep. So I had to alter it. So the original design looked really close to that one. So then I had to alter it because I'm like, whoa, that is way too close. And we went with the original for a couple of years, and ultimately I altered it. I'm like, we need to put some more curve and personality to this because it's way too close. And of course, so that's where the there we go right there.
I just want to show people the image we're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
That's great. That's a great logo.
Yeah, and it is a really good logo. I'm really proud of it, and it's gone through some evolutions, but that's where we are today, and it's not going to change anytime soon. So, for Krista Nova, and for Ruthie, your Geeks and Gamers tattoos will be safe. I'm not going to change the logo.
Nice.
So, but yeah, so that's where I kind of came up with the name Geeks and Gamers.
What year was that?
Was a thing. Either 2011, I think. Yeah, 2011.
Oh, all these tournaments went down in 2011.
1 year. All happened in 1 year. So the first tournament started in January, and then my final tournament that I ran was in December of that year.
And that was the Super Smash Brothers one?
No. So the Super Smash Brother one was the fourth one that I did, and that one went, so that was kind of when we started to show up in our Geeks and Gamers t-shirts. There's a picture of us all in our t-shirts, and we had our gamer tags on the back, which is what DDayCobra is. That was my gamer tag at the time. We had a little clan called D-Day Clan, and DDayCobra was my gamer tag. So that's what that name comes from. So I just kept it because I'm like, that's a pretty cool online handle. I don't think anybody else could be called that. So I just ran with DDayCobra as like a lot of people. I think PewDiePie's thing, that was his gamer tag, so you just run with gamer tags. And so the initial t-shirt design of Geeks and Gamers had the small logo on the chest, and then the big logo on the back with our gamer tag up top, like a sports jersey.
Right.
And so, so that was the first tournament, the Super Smash Brothers tournament. And that one, we got back on track. We did fantastic and had a great turnout there. And then we moved into another tournament. It was a Mario Kart Smash Bros tournament, of course, Mario Kart. That one went really well. And then the big tournament was that December, and we had a massive turnout for that one. The problem was I was starting to get burned out because I wasn't making money from these tournaments, but I was carrying a lot of stress. I was carrying a ton of stress because we were getting hundreds and hundreds of people showing up to these tournaments. And it was very stressful because the bigger the audience was getting, like, I was responsible for every piece of equipment in that room.
Yeah.
Like, people, like, if somebody's Xbox goes missing or their game gets scratched or their controller gets broken, I'm responsible for it. And so I wasn't making much of a profit. Plus, I was developing t-shirts at that point in time, but I was only trying to sell them at near cost because I was like, I just want to have fun, and I want people to have a good experience and wear these shirts. I don't want to try to, jack it up 50-60%. I just want people to have fun and play video games. I was not approaching it from a business standpoint, much like I really haven't done that up to this point with Geeks and Gamers either. I just want people to have fun, and I want people to be connected to Geeks and Gamers. So that last tournament was in December of that year, and I completely was just mentally burnt out. Because I didn't know what the vision was moving forward. Like, yeah, hundreds of people are showing up, but I'm not trying to make money. I'm just trying to make people have fun. And so, at the time, that's when I was in transitioning back to Pensacola. And so, real life gets in the way.
This was all in Alabama, though?
In Alabama. Yeah.
Right,
so that was me. That was in between me going from Florida back to Alabama, and then back from Alabama, moving back to Pensacola. So I had, real life stuff comes up. So I'm moving, I'm relocating. So I kind of just put Geeks and Gamers on the back burner for a couple of years at that point in time. And it was like a kind of I describe us in that point in time as my core group of friends. We still had Geeks and Gamers. The name was out there. I had created a website, and this is where the plus symbol comes into play. I created a website, but I couldn't afford geeksandgamers.com at the time. So I bought Geeks Gamers at the time. So I never wanted it to say Geeks and Gamers because I didn't own geeksandgamers.com. So I decided to put that plus symbol in there just to give it a little more personality and to avoid having the and symbol or it saying and, because I didn't own geeksandgamers.com. I owned geeksgamers.com. And so I had a little website, and it was just kind of like a promoting video game tournaments, a little message board of sorts is all it was. So that site was there. I moved to Pensacola, and we're doing nothing with it, really. I basically said we were wimpy versions of Sons of Anarchy. We just had our little t-shirts that we walked around with, and we weren't beating anybody's ass.
Great show.
And one of the best shows ever. So at that point in time, we're in limbo. So that's where I will hold off there and see if you want any follow-up questions on that. But that's
Well,
the limbo.
what were you
we're
doing
the
then?
limbo. So I was
doing?
still working retail, working, at a place called Winn-Dixie. I was in management there, making good money still. And so at that point in time, I was getting more and more frustrated with the retail world because it just sucks. But I'm good at it. Like, I am good at retail. And that was my thing, where every job that I had, like in grocery or in the retail world, I was damn good at it. And I knew I was good at it.
Yeah.
But I was so dejected from the political structure of it. What I would do is I would go into it. Like, I would, if I transferred to a new store or something like that, I would go to the store. I would work my ass off for like 2 weeks, and I would show them. They're like, holy crap, nobody's close to this guy. And after I established how good I was, then I started to just fuck around, and then I would turn it up when I'd need to. And I basically just established with them, like, I'm not here to put up with your bullshit. I'm good. I know what I'm doing. And if you need me to step up, I'll do it. But I'm going to be on my phone most of the time. And in those times is when I was still trying to figure out what the next step with Geeks and Gamers was. And somewhere in that process is where I created a Geeks and Gamers Facebook group.
Okay.
And the Facebook group was the spark that led us to the next chapter of Geeks and Gamers.
What year was that then?
Oh my God.
Like 2014? A couple years later?
Let me think. So I want to say 2014.
Okay.
2014-ish is probably when that Facebook group was created. Now, the Facebook group was only created to kind of have like a little hub for me and my friends to talk about video games and comics and, sports or whatever dumb shit we're in. Okay. And it was called Geeks and Gamers, and it had the logo and everything. Once I created the Facebook group, I didn't know what a Facebook group was outside of just creating a hub. I started getting requests for people to join, and I'm like, wow, people want to be here. So there's like, oh, everybody wants to be part of Geeks Gamers. So we got a couple of hundred people in the Facebook group. Cool. I was like, well, that's kind of cool. I mean, that's cool that people want to be here. Maybe we can do something with this a little bit. And next thing you know, more and more people are requesting to join. We put a little structure behind it. I add some admins, and people start coming in there, posting their ideas, or they would go see a movie and they would post their review of the movie, or they would play a video game and they would post a review of the video game. And I'm like, well, what if I got that guy to write his review for geeksandgamers.com? Like, why wouldn't he just that way it's kind of archived there? Yeah. So I was like, that guy writes good reviews. Okay, that chick writes good reviews. Okay, that person. So I started thinking about that. I was like, okay, so then I had a little more resources at this point in time. So I was like, hey, I made a few phone calls. I was like, hey, can we restructure the website so we can make it more of an editorial place? And it's like, yeah, take this, that, and the other. I was like, oh, cool. Okay, well, I need somebody to run it. So I posted on Twitter to my 13 followers or whatever I had. And I'm like, hey, I need an editor-in-chief for geeksandgamers.com. If anybody's interested, or geeksgamers.com. If anybody's interested, hit me up. A guy, I won't mention the guy's name because he's no longer connected with us, but he was a great guy. His name, or he was from Hawaii, and he was awesome. And he reached out, and he had a weird name, so I thought it was a bot, but he was actually genuine. And I was like, yeah, let's have a Google Hangout. I'd like to kind of
so I can tell that you're real.
Yes. So we did a Google Hangout. I liked what he had to say. I brought him on. He was my editor-in-chief for the first few years of this new version of geeksgamers.com. And it worked really well. We had a website. We had a Facebook group. The Facebook group was getting, up to, 10, 15,000 people. I ended up getting invited to Chicago at a Facebook conference that Mark Zuckerberg spoke at. I was in the room with him. I met all the topic people at Facebook. It was kind of cool because our Facebook group was relatively decent, but it was still, we weren't really doing anything. Geeks and Gamers was just a little bitty website with a decent Facebook group. People from my team that were writing for the site came to me one day. They said, hey, we want to start a YouTube channel for Geeks and Gamers. And I was like, well, I'm not getting on YouTube. But if you guys want to start a YouTube channel, that's cool. So they started a YouTube channel for Geeks and Gamers. I love these guys to death. Channel was awful. Okay. The content was awful.
Okay.
It was awful. But hey, whatever. I'll take those 200 views we were getting. So the channel was really bad. and it was there for a few years, and it never
Mhm.
gained over 1,000 subs. And meanwhile, we had the website. So that guy from Hawaii brought on another guy that he said, I need some help, and I want to bring this friend of mine on, and I think he's really good. This guy from New York. This guy's name was Alex. To this day, Alex is my editor in chief.
Still
Now,
cool.
Alex is still with me. So this guy from Hawaii brought on Alex. Alex backed him up until this guy burned out. The guy from Hawaii burned out emotionally, just couldn't take it anymore. And I got it. I understand, because I'm losing money through this whole process of Geeks and Gamers. I've lost thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars building this up, just helping people with resources here. Like, hey, we got to get the website up. We got to do this. I need a new computer, Jeremy. I need like whatever it took. You know what I mean? I'm losing money like crazy. And but it didn't matter to me because I believed in what it was. But all through this, in my real life, I have people questioning me. I have my coworkers questioning me. I have my family. I have my friends. Jeremy, you're 30 something years old. What are you doing? Why are you goofing around with a video game company? Why are you making, you're wasting time building a website so you can play video games? This is dumb. You're losing money. You need to do this. You need to take things seriously. So through all this process of trying to build up Geeks and Gamers, my day job and my desire to work hard at my day job is dwindling. So I start like working as a vendor, like so at a retail store, like guys that go into different Walmart or grocery stores and they stock different things, So I had a lot of freedom. So I basically took jobs that I knew I could get away with being on my phone all day long and not be under supervision. So I could continue to manage this Facebook group, manage the website, manage all of this. And everything was fine, but this is around the time, I don't know if a lot of people are going to be aware of this, but there's a guy by the name of Donald Trump that was elected in 2016. He's a relatively unknown guy, but all of this is going on with Geeks and Gamers, and Trump gets elected. I voted for Trump. I'm a very, 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 very big fan of Donald Trump, but I kept that very quiet publicly. I was not mentioning it at my Facebook group. But that's where the political stuff started taking off. And a lot of the people that I had writing for my site were starting to move into this left-wing type of stuff where they were speaking out about, gay rights and women's rights and, racism's bad. And I'm like, well, yeah, it's bad, but why are we talking about it? It just got really weird. And that was where we were getting to the point that would take us to where Geeks Gamers blew up right there. That's kind of the early stages of that was the election of 2016.
Is this right when Gamergate started happening?
Gamergate was before my time, so I really I was not involved with game. I get labeled part of it all the time. Yeah, I don't know anything about Gamergate. I know it gets mentioned a lot, but I was not part of that whole world, and I don't know much about it. I mean, obviously, I've heard a little bit about it, in past years now, but I had nothing to do with any of that era. Because again, I was Mr. Hey, I'm happy Disney bought Star Wars. Hey, I'm loving these Marvel movies. Hey, I'm looking forward to this. Oh God, yes. Like I love The Force Awakens. Like I was so happy for The Last Jedi in terms of when it was like the hype for it. Like,
yeah,
I had no issues with any of that. Like I was Disney's one of their, I would say a fanboy at that point in time. I was optimistic about all these things. So as I'm running Geeks and Gamers, building it up, I'm a fan of all this stuff. I'm like, hey, yeah, I love all this stuff. I'm digging all of it. I'm excited. I want to see what the future is for Star Wars. I'm happy that, George is kind of, and I was a prequel defender, but I was like, I'm happy George is at peace with it and he's moved on. So let's see what other people can do. And, I had people on my site that were writing some really interesting stuff, which again, my rule, Geeks and Gamers has always been, you can have whatever opinion you want. You just cannot be mad that your fellow person at Geeks and Gamers might have a different opinion. But at that point in time, I was the only person not expressing their opinion at Geeks and Gamers, whether it through the Facebook group, the website, or we had the terrible YouTube channel that I really wasn't part of.
But it seemed like it was more focused on games, though. So what did it they just started kind of going political on their own accord, or I'm just going to start writing about my political opinions, and this is the website that I write for, so this is where it's at.
Yep. Because as soon as Trump got elected, that's where the social shift started to happen. People started to be more like, oh, we need more gay representation in movies, and I'm like, what? Like, what are we
We
talking
need
about
to
here?
be
But hey,
anti-racist.
yeah, and I'm like,
Like,
I'm watching that, like, because to this day, the only thing I've ever censored on my website that I can recall, and Alex can confirm this one, I think I stopped Alex from mentioning that he was a Trump supporter. Now, this is before I spoke out. And he asked me, though. It's not like I told him. It's not like I stepped in. He called me. He's like, what do you think about this? Because we had other guys on the site writing their left-wing stuff.
okay.
But I was like, I don't know if we want the Trump heat, bro. You know what I mean? Because it was really, I don't know if we want the Trump heat right now. So I'm watching all of this unfold. I'm watching people on my team being very outspoken about their left-wing politics, which, again, I don't really have a problem with. But I'm just going, I am sitting here neutered right now.
Yeah.
I'm not talking about Trump. They all know I support Trump privately. They all know privately I do. But publicly, I never said anything. And I was watching Geeks and Gamers. I was looking at the YouTube channel, and I'd made a few appearances on the channel here and there, and I was very awkward and very nervous. But I was looking at everything, and I'm going, Geeks and Gamers has been doing this for X amount of years. I've lost tens of thousands of dollars. I'm not happy with where we are. And so before,
and also, let me just ask real quick.
Yeah,
So at that point, so I didn't realize until just now. I feel like you weren't doing any content yourself.
No, I mean,
you weren't
Facebook group was kind of my content. I would write reviews in there, and I might do a few things here on the site, but nothing major. I was more so just overseeing things and directing things. Occasional video on the YouTube channel, but nothing like in depth or anything, and very awkward at that point in time.
Okay.
So, and so I was watching all this happen, and so before a movie called The Last Jedi came out, I talked to everybody on my team, and I basically was seeing what was going on with Trump and how left-wing activists would find out that someone that was running a company was a Trump supporter. And they were like, we need to expose this person as a bigot. And I'm like, if you're going to weaponize political opinions, and not to say that Geeks and Gamers was anything, like, it was just everything is relative. So to me, it was a big deal, but in the big scheme of things, it was literally nothing back then, but it still meant something to me. And so, and to the people that were supportive of it. So still relative.
I don't think the perspective or like the size of the company matters at all. If it's one person that they're attacking because of political opinions, that or the largest company, what difference does it make? It's still wrong.
Exactly. And so to me, it was everything. It was my whole world. You know what I mean? And so if anybody was to use me being a Trump supporter against me, I was worried about that. And I was like, well, what's that going to do to what we've got here? But I was like, but I can't let that hang over my head. I am a Trump supporter, and I'm damn proud to be a Donald Trump supporter. And I'm going to tell everybody I'm a Trump supporter, and I'm not going to give a damn what they think, because one of the things that pushed me to this point was I was already seeing what was happening with Star Wars, but I wasn't like totally grasping it yet. And I remember when I saw Daisy Ridley was cast and John Boyega and Oscar, I was like, it seems a little specific to not cast a white dude, but hey, it's Star Wars. I'm happy. So I watched the movie. I liked the movie. And then Rogue One came out, female lead.
Yeah.
I liked it. I didn't like it as much as everybody else, but I liked it.
Yeah.
Like 2 female leads. Really? Okay. Then I'm at Star Wars Celebration in Orlando, Florida, and the Battlefront 2 premiere.
Oh, God.
The panel. I was at the panel.
Okay.
And they come out before the panel starts. And you've got this room full of generally dudes. And this person comes out and they said, are there any female gamers in the crowd? And you heard like 2 girls like, woo. And I'm like,
what kind of a question is that to start with?
What the hell is going on? You know what I mean? Like, I'm just like, what is going on? So, of course, they do the reveal with the Iden Verso, as the main character, Battlefront 2. And I'm going, Jesus Christ, another female lead. So that was really what pushed me. I'm like, okay, I'm tired of what's going on with people hating on Trump and Trump supporters. I'm tired of seeing all this diversity in Hollywood, Ghostbusters 2016 and all of this.
Ugh. God.
So I basically, before The Last Jedi came out, I talked to my team and I privately said, like, guys, I love all of you.
I'm about to blow it up.
I was like, guys, I appreciate all of you. I appreciate everything you've done. All of your voices are important. You've all been able to speak your minds and let your voices be heard. And I fully support that. I don't care if you agree with me, disagree with me, or whatever. But I'm about to show the world my ass.
Pulling up my sleeves.
I'm about to just not hold back. And I'm going to tell people how I feel. I'm not going to let people weaponize the fact that I'm a Trump supporter. I'm going to show them I'm a Trump supporter. I'm going to be damn proud of it because I am not going to back off on this. And there's some other things I'm seeing that I'm not really happy with. So I'm just letting you guys know. Now, I had no idea The Last Jedi was going to be the disaster it was. I had no idea like that was happening. So when I make this announcement privately to my team, I don't know, 6 or 7 people that were part of the writing staff left. And,
oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
How many people were total? Like, what was it 20 people?
Oh, God, 30 people? Man. Yeah, I'd say probably about 20, 25 at that time.
You know, good chunk of people. Just
Oh, yeah.
They're like,
and some of the prominent people.
Oh, man. Okay.
Prominent people. And so that happened. And then I start seeing them go on social media calling me a racist and a sexist. And I'm like,
those same people.
Yes. And I'm like, you guys have my phone number. Like, I've done everything in my power for you. Like, what? Yeah. And it was all because privately they were like, whatever, he's a Trump supporter. Once it became public that they were going to be linked to a Trump supporter, they had to offset it. They had to destroy me. They had to make me sound like I'm a bigot and a horrible person. And I was like, wow, man, that is crazy. Like, I know these people, you know what I mean? Like the fact that they're saying this about me, like I've never done anything to limit their speech or limit their opinions. And the fact that they're saying this about me. So that really motivated me. I'm like, oh, okay. Now we're really going to take Geeks and Gamers to the next level.
I noticed that you didn't deny being a racist and a bigot. And
I'm friends with Ryan Kennel. There's not a whole lot I can do to deny it at this point. So, and so, yeah. And so I was like, okay, I'm going to use this. I'm going to use this as motivation. We're going to show you guys the Geeks and Gamers is far better now that we've gotten you out of here. And so then The Last Jedi comes out. Now that was where I was so like, that's where I started to become,
black-pilled.
Yeah, man. Like I was like, but it took a while because I watched The Last Jedi initially and I was like, oh man, I love Star Wars. This was great and everything. But like, I would talk to my friends and I'm like, I would tell them all the problems I had with the movie, but they would end up saying how much I liked it. And they're like, no, you didn't. Are you listening to yourself? I'm like, no, dude, I'm a prequel defender. I cannot criticize Star Wars. What are you talking about? I'm a big.
Did you like the prequels when they came out?
Yes. Oh, loved them. Me too. Don't get me wrong. I had my issues with little issues here and there, but I love the prequels. Okay. So I and in my little world that I had, I was very much like outspoken about defending prequels. I was always a prequel defender. Like that was kind of my claim to fame back then, was my most relevant videos or most relevant internet knowledge, or people knew me on the internet as a prequel defender. So when it got to the point of wanting to criticize Last Jedi, I was at an internal battle because I'm like,
I love Star Wars.
Yeah, man. Like, I went all in. I went all in on, the Star Wars defense. And so it was really tough for me to kind of fully own how much I hated what they were doing. But it wasn't so much the movie. It was the reaction from Lucasfilm and how Lucasfilm and the media were trying to paint anyone that hated that movie as a racist or a sexist. Yeah. And so that was so we had 3 little pieces of this puzzle. We had Trump, we had The Last Jedi, and then we had Lucasfilm's reaction to The Last Jedi reaction. All 3 of those things are what really those were the steps that really pushed me to where at that point in time, the channel still didn't have 1,000 subscribers. Okay. This was January of 2017. The channel did not have 1,000 subscribers.
Still small.
And at that point in time, that's when the channel took off. When I started criticizing Last Jedi, criticizing Hollywood, and basically just being a complete asshole. And not caring. And that's really where it took off.
And nothing's changed, I see.
Nothing's changed. Nothing's changed.
Yeah, I've been on enough streams with you when Star Wars gets mentioned because I love Star Wars. I remember watching Star Wars when I was a kid. The original three. When the prequels came out, I loved them. Because I was a teenager still, and maybe yeah. When did they come out? 2000, 2002?
Yeah. Well,
Knows?
Revenge of the Sith was 2005. So 99 was the Phantom
Okay,
Menace, and then so yeah. Yep.
right. So
And by the way, yeah, it was 2018. I'm sorry, not 2017. So 2018 of January, we still
okay,
had less than 1,000 subscribers. 2018.
okay. And what was I saying? So yeah. I mean, the Star Wars thing. It's like I feel the same way because my buddy Darth Call
Mhm.
loves Star Wars. He dresses up as Maul. He
Yep.
does an incredible Maul. I mean, he is Maul when he does the makeup, and
Mhm.
he's actually the guy he went viral on Reddit because he was eating breadsticks at Olive Garden as Maul. But he and were talking about Star Wars because he was playing Battlefront, and I made the horrible mistake of playing the campaign. My goodness, what a horrendous story.
Yeah, it's really
Did you
bad. I liked the multiplayer for Battlefront
The
2.
multiplayer is the only thing to do,
I hated the campaign. It's
dude.
so bad.
He's like, why? Why did you do that to yourself? It's
Mhm.
horrible. And it's like,
Yep.
well, I wanted to play on the Emperor's side. It sounded cool. And it's like that only lasted like 5 minutes before, of course, she had to become a good person.
Yep.
But being on streams with you, whenever Star Wars was mentioned, I could feel your
Anger.
anger. Yes. Yeah, the black pill is real. And what I see them weaponizing is just like you kind of were like in this inner battle with yourself. Like, I really love Star Wars. And I think it still remains true. And that's why you're so outspoken about being against Disney Star Wars, because they
Mhm.
really did change it. It's
Yep.
now Disney Star Wars and not Lucas Star Wars. Two
Right.
completely different things. And they're
Yep.
doing that with everything.
Yeah, it's bad.
Everything.
It's really
Yeah.
bad. And
You know,
that's the
and
problem with it.
well, I'm going back to even your younger years of being in retail. You've got yourself who knows to compare it. You know the fans. You know what the fans want. You know the real story. But these people higher up think they know what's best for the retail store or the Star Wars universe. They think they know. Enter what's her name, Kathleen Kennedy with her Forced as Female. She knows what's best for Star Wars, and
Mhm.
then throws away all of the source material and says, "There's no source material. We're going to do it on our own."
Yep.
But it's happening among basically everything. That's the same. It's these people that are so disconnected from the reality of what fans really want, what the
Yes.
managers really need to run a good store. It's the same thing. It's
Yeah.
interesting, the dynamic and the similarities
Mhm.
there. I
It
like
is.
that.
I mean, it's depressing in a lot of ways to see what Hollywood's become. And I've had people go like, "Well, I love when people say, well, Jeremy, you wouldn't be anywhere without The Last Jedi." I was like, yeah, okay, I agree. Like if
Yeah,
it probably wouldn't, but
and
I am here. They're like,
right.
would you trade all of the success that you've had for good Star Wars? Hell no. Like I'm not they deserve to be ridiculed. They don't deserve to get a pass. I'm not going to give up my success to give them back another chance. No, they ruined Star Wars because they
Hmm.
hate Star Wars. They hate what George Lucas created, and they hate the fans. So no, they don't get to. I don't take my success away to give them another chance. Not even close.
Well, and your
And so,
success really is something amazing. I mean, you and Nerdrotics have an incredible show every Friday Night Tights. For those who don't know, if you don't
yes,
know, you are missing out. Every time I've been on the show, I laugh my ass off the entire time. It
yep.
is a laugh fest from start to finish. And actually, you're continuing on this kind of group show on Tuesday night's main event, which is
Mm-hmm.
another amazing show. If you guys don't know, Geeks and Gamers has their Tuesday night show, Tuesday night's main event. I actually was on the inaugural
Yes, you
show,
were.
which was really cool. Another laugh factory. I love it. I love laughing. I love being honest about my
Mm-hmm.
opinions and my views. It's really refreshing to hear people discussing things. And I think that's, amongst the laughter, it's still reality. You're still talking about what
Right.
people want to hear. They're like, yeah, I feel the same way. And it's nice and refreshing to hear people who have these viewpoints that I'm not even allowed to talk about because I'm shamed for it. It's so
Yeah.
ridiculous.
Well, yeah, and I mean, and that's just the continued evolution of Geeks and Gamers. I don't think we're nowhere near where I want us to be. But I'm
Mhm.
very proud of where we are. I mean, Friday Night Tights is a classic example of what Geeks and Gamers, like, with just the fact that it's a Geeks and Gamers production with Gary, who I've been friends with Gary since he had about 50,000 subscribers. Gary, I knew it from the moment I saw him, was going to be a rock star. I told him that to his point blank. I'm like, dude, you're good.
Yeah.
You're real good at what you do. Like, I mean, and he just, he's got that, kind of radio kind of mentality of how he approaches his live streams, and people just want to tune in, kick back, and listen to him. He's a wealth of knowledge. He's so knowledgeable, does fantastic videos. And so
Mhm.
just to be connected with some guy like that is just it's honor to call him a friend. I love that guy. And
Yeah.
and just everything else we have. I mean, like,
Tell us what you're doing. You've got channels all over the place. You guys got
yes.
tabletop, you got sports wars, you got
Hmm.
park hopping.
Yeah.
Um, what tell us about all of your different channels and, like, I
Yeah. I
mean,
mean,
it's
well,
widespread now.
so the idea initially was I wanted kind of the Geeks and Gamers YouTube channel to almost be like an IGN type of channel, because IGN used to post a bunch of stuff, bunch of type
Yeah.
of stuff. But as I learned as the channel was growing, YouTube doesn't benefit. You don't benefit on YouTube from diversity of content. You have to feed that algorithm exactly what it wants. And if you
Same
start
thing.
changing it up, you're gonna hurt your channel. And I ought to be completely honest. I know this. I know I've hurt the Geeks and Gamers channel because I've moved away from what kind of grew it, which was me, and I've tried to put more of the team element into it and different content. And I'm going to continue to do that because I'm committed to, breaking through as to what we want it to be, because I never wanted Geeks and Gamers to be the Jeremy show. I wanted it to be Geeks and Gamers. I wanted the brand to be bigger than me. I
Yeah.
don't want to be the only thing people identify with. And that's why I'm happy when we have people like Ryan and Jay, Krista, X-Ray Girl, all these people, Josiah, like all these people now I feel can rival me in a lot of ways.
Well, in
And it's
reality,
so.
you're bringing it back to the core of when it started, which was a
Mhm.
group of people talking about the cool stuff.
Yes.
It started as a forum, but then
Yep.
when it became a website, it wasn't really you. It was just a bunch of different people giving their own input. So you're really
Right.
bringing it back to, like, the
Mhm.
original view, geeks plural and
Mhm.
gamers
That's
plural.
right. That's
Yeah, I like
right.
that. Yeah, that's good.
And yeah, I mean, we have the theme park channel, and we have the tabletop channel, which you just created, which is doing great. I know nothing about Dungeons and Dragons, but we had Rudai came to us and talked to me and Ryan and sold us on a couple of different interviews we had with him and convinced me it was the right thing to do. Obviously, just the main YouTube channel, Sports Wars, has been a fantastic venture for me and Ryan. It's
Mhm.
got over 100,000 subscribers now, and my personal channel's out there, which I don't know how that got 100,000 subscribers. I have no idea.
I don't
But
know
it's
who would want to
there.
listen to you.
I
Jeez.
know. And yeah, so we're just going to continue to evolve it from there. I have, like, right now, I'm in a weird place because I have big ideas right now, very big and potentially stupid ideas of things that I want to accomplish in the next 6 months.
Yeah.
And to be like, without going into detail, like, I've told my team about it, and half of them said that you're fucking crazy and no, we're not doing that.
I
And the
want to
other half
know.
was like, yes, I'll tell you off camera.
Yeah, I
Um,
want. Well, I want to know. You made mention of something when George signed off on Tuesday. You said, "Oh man, George told me this idea. I'm not going
oh,
to
okay.
tell
Yeah, I can tell you
anybody.
about that one. I'll tell you about
You,
that one too. So
I'm not going to tell anybody, but I'm excited about it."
yes,
And I was
yes.
like, "Damn you, George! I wish I came up with it." And I'm like, well, what was it? I want to know. Can we know, or is it?
I can't publicly, I
Uh,
can't, but I can tell
oh,
you
you tell me
privately.
afterwards.
I
Haha,
can tell you
everybody.
privately. So,
The
um,
benefits of knowing these guys.
yeah, but I'm very, like, I've in the early days of the YouTube channel. So when it first kind of started taking off, I was very much in my little corner of the internet and very thankful when we hit 5,000 subscribers. 10,000 subscribers, 15,000. I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe that like I remember looking at people and seeing that they have 20 or 30 or 50,000 subs. I'm like, how does that happen? How does someone get that many subs? And so it's happening for Geeks and Gamers in those early phases. And I'm like, this is amazing.
Yeah.
And then something happened around 20,000 subscribers. And it really kind of set the next phase of me from 20 to maybe 100. And that was a channel that I was a fan of decided to put a hit piece out on me. A channel with like 700,000 subscribers.
Who's
and that channel was Star Wars Explained.
Oh,
so,
man.
Star Wars Explained is a very well-known Star Wars channel. Alex and his wife, they actually run it, and always make that joke. But anyway, Alex and Molly, his sister, which he claims is his wife, they run that channel. And I made a video about a Solo. Remember the movie Solo, which Solo did lose money, but Solo, there was like a poster where they were removing guns or something in certain markets. They were removing the blaster. And I made a video about it. And another channel made a video about it called Star Wars Theory, which is the biggest Star Wars channel, which is almost bigger than
this one.
Yeah. And so we both made a video about it. So then Alex, I'd never said a bad word about this guy. Never said a bad word about him. I wake up like, one day and suddenly people are messaging me, yo, Star Wars Explained, like, just made a video about you and he's shitting all over you. I'm like, what?
And at this point, you had 20,000 subs.
20,000 subscribers.
So you were a small channel.
Very small. Didn't even know what I was like. I was just thankful that anybody was watching my stuff. I couldn't believe it. And so to be featured in a channel of that magnitude and the way that it came off. And so basically he was accusing me of lying and clickbaiting. He titled it This Week in Clickbait, which was a play off of Last Week Tonight from the John Oliver. So he basically he's like, this guy's very angry. He's playing clips of me. He's playing them out of context. But the whole point of the video was he was using me as the target to go after Theory because he's very jealous that Theory has the biggest channel and Theory blew up way past him. Okay. And so Theory was in that video as well. So it was using me as kind of the point to kind of go after Theory. So when this happened, I took the high road. So I politely took it on the chin because I didn't know how to react. I'd never been in YouTube beef and I don't want YouTube beef. So I took it on the chin. I made a video and I'm like, hey, I appreciate you calling me out, man. I'm a big fan, yada, yada, yada. I had already given a video with further context to this topic that he didn't address in this video. But either way, I took it on the chin. I took the high road. Now, at the end of his video, he said, and this is where I knew he was full of shit.
Okay.
At the end of the video, he goes, guys, I really hope that I never have to make any more of these videos because clickbait is such a bad thing. And hopefully we can all move on from this. And hopefully this is the last clickbait video or This Week in Clickbait I ever make. I hope this is what I have to do. So the next week he does This Week in Clickbait. He doesn't mention me, but he has a t-shirt line that he's revealing for This Week in Clickbait. Mr. I don't want to make these videos has merchandise now. So when I saw he has merchandise, I sat down and I made a video that I think I dropped about 80 or 90 F-bombs in. And I didn't threaten him, okay? I did not threaten him. Mm-hmm. But I did let him know that at some point in time, somewhere, someplace, he and I will meet eye to eye. And he will have to look me in the eye and explain to me why he decided to try to destroy my channel. And he won't have his subscribers to hide behind, and he won't have his editing to hide behind. He's going to look me in my eye, and he's going to face me. And that video got age restricted, which scared the hell out of me because I didn't know what that meant at the time. Okay. So I'm like, what does an age restriction mean? I just got this YouTube channel at 20,000. I don't want to lose it. Mm-hmm. So that happened. I then became, in the whole process, I became friends with Star Wars Theory. And me and him are still friends to this day. But that happened. So that kind of unleashed the sarcastic asshole Jeremy for the next up to 100,000 subscribers. I would go on live streams. I would talk a lot of shit. I would run my mouth. I would put the theatrics in it. I would just say whatever I needed to say. And it was a lot of fun. And that's how the whole Jer Army thing became a meme, where these Jeremy accounts, like whatever persona I was doing, they would make a Twitter account. And so that's how Jeremy Prime became the things. They're like, well, you're the Prime, you're the Jeremy Prime, you're the lead Jeremy. So like this Jer Army is what we called the Jeremy fan base. And so through all of that, that's where all of that came from. And I was just savage. I was savage on Twitter. I was savage on live streams. I was so brutal to people. And eventually I kind of evolved past it. But Star Wars Explained was the reason that I started doing that.
Wow.
Yeah.
So I'm just thinking, I'm like, you're pretty savage. You're
still,
pretty savage.
Well, I was really bad back
but
then.
I didn't know you. I didn't know you back then. You know, I met you, the past couple of years. You know, we've been working together sporadically. So it's like, I feel like you've calmed down then a little bit.
A little. I think a lot of my focus has shifted over to, and to be fair, to wrap that story up in a pretty little bow. I did confront Alex from Star Wars Explained in person at Star Wars Celebration, and he ran from me like the little bitch that he is. So there's that. And that has been confirmed by multiple times. Anna, that Star Wars girl, has confirmed it, and other people saw it happen. Like, he literally, I confronted a lot of people in person at Star Wars Celebration in Chicago. A lot of people that have been critical of me, I'll walk up and face to face, shaking their hand. Hey, I'm Jeremy from Geeks and Gamers. How you doing today? Hey, so what about that article you wrote about me? Like, I did that to multiple people.
And they're all like,
yes.
Reality.
And, yes. And a couple of them turned out to be cool. I tried privately to meet with Alex from Star Wars Explained. And he's such a pathetic piece of shit that he wouldn't even talk to me privately. He only talked to me through another YouTuber, which I won't name that YouTuber. He would only talk to me through the other YouTuber. He wouldn't even talk to me directly. So when I found him at Star Wars Celebration, I walked up to him, I shook his hand, and his sister or wife or whatever she is was literally yanking him away from me, giving me the death eye. And he was, the soy boy he is, continued to do as she said. So I did try to confront him, though.
That's hilarious.
This conversation really makes me to bring Savage Jeremy back to Geeks and Gamers.
Maybe you should. Maybe that's what you should have on your own personal channel. When you're feeling that itch to be savage, boom, go to DDayCobra. But let's talk about the future. What do you want Geeks and Game? What do you see the future of Geeks and Gamers being? I mean, you mentioned IGN. Is that what you want?
No, fuck IGN.
Agreed. Agreed.
Yeah. Basically, I want Geeks and Gamers in some capacity. I want it to be the Barstool Sports of the geek world. But beyond that, and there's a lot of ideas that I have to kind of take us to the next level. But we have an amazing team. We have amazing personalities. There are people that are connected to us that I thank my lucky stars every day, that I have the wonderful team I have and the wonderful friendships I have with people that aren't, maybe directly on the team. People like, Young Ripa, who's not part of Geeks and Gamers, or Dan Vask, but they're always on Geeks and Gamers because they're just good friends and good, creators. Yourself, you're constantly, popping up here and there, which is always happy to have that. And that just makes me so happy, and I want to continue to take us to the next level. So the path is to create Geeks and Gamers to have that Barstool Sports impact on the geek world, because Barstool Sports has had a really big impact into the sports world. And I want Geeks and Gamers to have that impact into the geek world, because ultimately IGN is trash, Kotaku is trash, Polygon is trash. Yeah. All of these places are bad. They're not good for the gaming industry. They're not good for the entertainment industry. So we need we need a place where you're getting an honest opinion. You're not always going to like that opinion. You're not always going to agree with that opinion. But as long as you can feel that that's a genuine opinion, that's the point. At least you're getting genuine opinions. Me and Adam can sit here and talk for an hour. We like each other. We respect each other. We're going to find a lot of things we probably disagree on, because that's human nature. So it's not about you getting the opinions fed back to you that you have. It's about you knowing that you're getting honest opinions. And that's something we're lacking, obviously, in all of media. But for what Geeks and Gamers is and what we are, it's important to have that in the gaming world and in the movie world and the entertainment world and the sports world.
I couldn't agree more. I mean, all those different companies that you listed, the problem is they just work for corporate. they work for those higher ups that think that they know best.
Yep.
Instead of people who actually game. Believe it or not, Geeks and Gamers, they actually play game. I know you talk about that. You make that joke a lot, and I'm like, I know, because I play with you, even though I got Vanguard and you stopped playing the next fucking day. But anyway, Vanguard sucks, so I don't blame you. But let's talk about games though. I noticed you have Crash Team Racing. You had Chrono Cross for a long time. Fantastic game, by the way. I love Chrono Cross. But it's not Mario Kart. What's up with that? You Crash, but you play Mario Kart. I mean,
well, I love kart racers in general. I've always loved but Mario Kart's the standard, and that's what introduced that entire genre to the world. Super Mario Kart on Super Nintendo. So, but yeah, I mean, I have major nostalgia for Diddy Kong Racing, which is right here.
That's on your over your right?
Yeah, that's right there.
Oh, okay, there you go. I see it now. The title, Diddy Kong.
So yeah, Diddy Kong Racing. I have a lot of nostalgia for that game, and I love Crash Team Racing as well. The games behind me are typically I pay attention to the chat, and they love seeing the different games. I've had Metal Gear Solid back there. I've had Resident Evil. I've had Shadows of the Empire. So I like seeing people's reactions to whatever games I have behind me as well. And obviously the Chrono Cross. The reason Chrono Cross stayed up for so long is because people were loving to see that intro. It's just, because it's such a fantastic game.
Great game. Are you going to play the remake?
I did purchase it and I have it downloaded on my Switch, but I've heard mixed things about it. So, but I plan on trying it out for sure. Okay. And just really, that's the thing, man. That's the biggest problem I have is lack of time to actually if I'm not doing something on stream, then I'm not. If I'm not playing a game on stream, I'm usually not playing a game. That's the whole thing. I don't have a lot of free time to do stuff, and I guess that's my only gripe in terms of my life is that I don't have a lot of free time. But it's a small price to pay for everything else that I've experienced over the last few years, for sure.
Well, I'm excited to continue watching your journey. I love tuning in to basically whenever you're live on anything. I always try to pop in. Splatoon looks a lot of fun. I actually looked to get it because I was thinking about possibly joining you, but then I saw Splatoon 3 is coming out in like 5 months or something.
Yeah.
So I'm like, it's like $60 for a game. I could just get the new one when it comes out.
Yeah.
So just wait.
Splatoon 3 is going to be massive. Like I didn't know there's the Splatoon account that tweeted out the 3 announcement. It had like 400,000 likes on that announcement tweet. It's a lot of likes for a video game.
It looks like a lot of fun. I see you guys
really good.
Fun. I want to. When did you meet Ryan and also Jay and like these these people that I've met myself? I'm just curious,
Yeah, so my process for bringing people on the team is always there's no consistency to it, and I know that people and I appreciate it because like I said, I was someone that would watch YouTube channels like Collider and John Campia and Schmoes Know before I had a following, and I would watch these guys and I'm like, these guys must have the greatest lives ever. They have like 200,000 subscribers, they have people watching, and like we get more views than now. It's crazy, but but I would watch those from afar and I'd be like, wow, what must it be like? So I know people watch Geeks and Gamers and they see people like Josiah, who has over 200,000 subscribers. They see Ryan blowing up. They see Drunk 3PO blowing up, hanging out with Gina Carano. And they're like, oh, if I could just get part of Geeks and Gamers, my life would be great. There's no possible scenario that's the case. You still have to apply and work and take advantage of everything. I can only give you the platform, but you have to take advantage of the platform I give you. True. And so in terms of who I bring on the team, there's no rhyme or reason to it. It's all kind of, I run Geeks and Gamers like Trump ran the country. It's all my gut, just whatever my gut tells me to do, kind of. But like with Jay, I was aware of Jay and I was aware of him mainly because I was like, whoever would name themselves Drunk 3PO must be a funny guy. But really what it came down to is I made a video defending him because he was getting crushed by a guy named Peter Soretta, who's a fat piece of trash who runs a site called Slash Film. He's a Hollywood shill. And he basically was, Peter Soretta's been in the game for a long time. I've been aware of who he is. But Soretta made a joke about Jay's views, because Jay made a video and he's laughing at how many views Jay was getting, because Jay didn't get many views at that point. So his Peter Soretta on Twitter, blue check mark, was like, haha, you only get X amount of views. So I was like, well,
Some lame shit.
Yeah. So I was like, well, I'll get more views than that. So let's go ahead and make a video on it. So I made a video on it, defended Jay. Jay, you know, obviously does a lot for, like, you know, charity and stuff like that. And so yes. And so I was always appreciated that. And that's stuff that I wanted to get more involved in, although I have backtracked off that a little since a certain guy named Zack Snyder fucked up a charity stream. Maybe we'll talk about that in a minute. But I do want
to ask about that. Yeah.
We can definitely get into that. But no, so with Jay, a lot of people just had a lot of good things to say about him. I liked his content. I liked his personality. And I thought that he just would bring a certain dynamic to it. So we talked about bringing him on, and then the theme park element, you know, so what gave him the theme park channel, let him run that. He does a great job of that. Ryan, I met him at a fan meetup in San Diego. Ryan.
So he was a fanboy.
He's a fanboy. Yeah.
You listening, Ryan?
I appreciate Adam's channel, so I'm not going to tell you guys the things that Ryan offered to do to me, but I was like, bro.
Oh, God.
No, I'm kidding. No.
Sure you are.
But Ryan is the most knowledgeable person I know on so many topics. Like, it's hard to say he's a jack of all trades, master of none, because he's a jack of all trades and he's a master of most as well. Like, Ryan is so knowledgeable that people don't really understand how much this guy knows. But I met him, we talked, and then I didn't even know this, but like Gary was at the meetup too, and Gary separately, me and Gary both told Ryan, hey, you're pretty sharp, you're pretty well spoken. If you've ever thought about starting a YouTube channel, you should do that. And I didn't know Gary told him that. Gary didn't know I told him that, but I did give Ryan my number. I was like, dude, if you start a channel, you call me. I want you on. I think I could do stuff with you. Now, funny story is when Ryan, if you watch him now, he's like, what's going on, everybody? Is this Ryan? Everybody just goes off. But his first video he made for Geeks and Gamers was so bad that I had to have Josiah jump cut it to take all of the pauses out, because Ryan was like, hi guys, this is Ryan from our Cal Post, and today we're going to talk about Star Wars. And I'm like, holy crap, dude. There was so many long pauses, but now he's just like, boom. Yeah. And, but he's incredible. He's awesome. And I love that dude to death. I really do. In terms of the other people we have, I mean, like I said, Josiah's been with me forever. Josiah's been with me long before any of this blew up. I mean, Josiah's been with me since pretty much the YouTube channel was created, like back in 2014, 2015.
I like Josiah. I didn't know about him before Epic Mike killed him. And then of course, you know, he rose from the dead, and then he started making content, and I'm like, oh, this guy's good. I like this guy.
Yep. And Mike's another one. Mike was part of our Facebook group all those years ago. Alex, my editor in chief, who's been with me forever. I'm blessed to have a huge amount of people on this team. So there's a lot of people that people don't know about that are part of the team that have been with me for all these years, because we have, like I said, we have all the YouTube channels, we have social media, we have webmasters, we have security people for the website, we have writers, we have back end people that handle stuff. Like, it's a lot of moving parts that we have, and I don't know how I've created it, but we've created it, and we're here.
It's in your gut.
Yeah,
you just said it,
and I'm going to keep moving forward with it, because, you know, sky's the limit, and that's the best part of it.
How are you doing on time? We got a lot of super chats, and I would like to hear the Zack Snyder story. You good for a little? All right, so I got a bunch of super chats, but I want to hear, before we get into that, I want to hear the Zack Snyder story. You mention it often, but I don't know the whole story, because it kind of happened before I came on into the scene, hanging out with you guys.
Yeah, so I've become a lot more vocal about it recently than I was before, because it sucked. The whole thing sucked. So initially, how this all happened was, I don't like Zack Snyder's Justice League movies or his DC movie. I fucking hate him. And I've been very vocal about that. But I've also been vocal about the fact that I've always respected him as a filmmaker and as a dude, because I do. He always came off as a genuine guy. You know, even though I didn't like his movies, I liked him. And so we have a lot of people in the team that are Snyder Cut fans, big Snyder Cut movement, all that. That's fine, you know. And Uche, who's part of Geeks and Gamers, who's former NFL football player, who's a
Cool.
left-wing lunatic on Twitter, by the way. But anyway,
I met him
Uche
on
obviously,
Sunday.
yeah, Uche obviously with his NFL background and his blue check mark on Twitter, he tends to make connections or whatever. You know what I mean? And I think through some way, shape, or form, he made contact with Zack Snyder. And to Uche's credit, you know, his first instinct was to bring it to me because he wanted that to be a Geeks and Gamers thing, you know,
That's cool.
showing that that he could have just done that on his own, you know, but he's like, hey, we could do this with Geeks and Gamers. And I was like, hey, that's great. So he's like, we should get on a call with him. I got a call. Me and you can get on there. So honestly, I don't fucking care to talk to him. Like, because if this is going to happen, like, it needs to be established through the right reasons for Snyder fans. And I'm not a Snyder fan. So how about you and some of the other guys that are Snyder fans? You guys talk to him. If it goes well, then I'll get more involved.
Okay.
I'm like, okay, cool. So they had the call. They set up like, yeah, he was interested in doing something with Geeks and Gamers. You know, we'll do a charity stream the night before Snyder Cut releases. We'll do a charity stream. We'll raise all this money, yada, yada, yada. I was like, okay. So they come to me. They're like, here's how it went. I said, okay, that's great. I said, man, this is going to be a lot of heat though. Like, God, you know what I mean? Like connecting to Zack Snyder is going to put us in a whole different stratosphere, but I can't. Like on one hand, I don't want to deal with this because I know what the heat's going to get put on me. But at the same time, I also don't want to back off of a good opportunity to do a fan movement celebration because that's ultimately what this was celebrating a fan movement. So there was some deliberation on how we were going to handle this. I called Zach the next day and I'm like, hey, just to be transparent, like, I just need you to understand, like in your world, I'm a very controversial figure. I criticize Hollywood a lot. I get called this, I get called that. He kind of was like, I don't want to say he was a dick about it because he wasn't, but it was kind of like, it's all good, man. You know, I can deal with criticism. So it's like, you know what I mean? Like he was basically like dismissing any criticism I was going to bring his way because he's Zack Snyder, which again, I kind of understand that. So the next day, I don't know if it was the next day, but the whole plan was, how are we going to do this? Okay, we need to announce this on Friday Night Tights so that we have the link up. We have the charity link up. So when we announce this on Friday Night Tights, I bet we can have $10,000 raised before the first blue hair whale starts tweeting out that Zack Snyder's, you know, going to be on Geeks and Gamers, the racist. Mm-hmm. That was the plan. But Zack Snyder decided to go on a live stream on another channel and promote the fact that he's doing work with Geeks and Gamers. He did it. He gets on the live stream. He's like, hey, we're not announcing this yet, but we're going to set up a charity stream with Geeks and Gamers. I'm looking forward to them making the announcement, but don't tell anybody. Hasn't been announced yet. He was kind of playful about it. You know what I mean? Because he was excited. So he did that. And I'm like, what are you doing?
So much for surprise attack.
Yeah. So I called him the next day. I'm like, dude. And he had already started to get the reaction. You know what I mean? Yeah. And I'm like, bro, I told you. And he goes, yeah, look, I'm really sorry, man. I did not think it was going to be that big of a deal. I really apologize. And I'm like, you kind of put me in a bad spot here now. Mm-hmm. So Warner Brothers executives were already reacting. So I decided, all right, it's not going to go on the Geeks and Gamers channel. We'll put it on Uche's channel. Uche's the former NFL football player. We'll put it on his channel. Yeah. And we'll go from there. So this is all for charity too, right? All for charity.
Okay.
All for charity. So then we make that shift and we still had the Geeks and Gamers logo on it. So at this point in time, based on the information Zack Snyder put out there, Zack Snyder connected Geeks and Gamers to Zack Snyder, not me. Zack Snyder did that. So based on the public information that was out there, there were behind the scenes discussions going on, but the public information was that Zack Snyder and Geeks and Gamers were working together. And we're just going to do it on Uche's channel. There was a charity website auction event website that was created. Those guys created the auction website with the public knowledge that had been put out there by Zack Snyder. So all this is going on. And then Zack calls and he's like, yeah, can we get maybe the Geeks and Gamers logo removed? They're getting upset. And I'm like, good Lord, motherfucker. Like, what, you know, like, all right, you know what? I'm going to play ball, but like, this is getting ridiculous, dude. But I was like, for the fans, for charity, I'm not going to, you know, this is why I shouldn't have got involved, but I'm going to play ball. So we made some changes, but the charity auction website had still had Geeks and Gamers on it, because the guys that built that website, who I didn't hire, they had the public knowledge that Zach and Geeks and Gamers were working together because Zach put it out there. So anyway, charity auction starts. We've raised like $60,000 or $70,000 before Zack Snyder even comes on the stream.
Wow.
Like
Nice.
already, people are freaking out. We had a bunch of people on the panel. I got a bunch of Snyder Cut fans on there and everything like that. I didn't go on the stream because I didn't feel I needed to be on the stream. I feel like I would only bring negativity to the stream.
Yeah.
And so he finally comes in, and he was basically, because of his wife and Warner Brothers, he had to denounce any association with Geeks and Gamers right when he joined the stream. And he completely derailed everything at that moment, because the whole audience was like, what are you doing?
Like,
and it
who
just
cares?
was
Like,
it was
why?
it was so bad. It was so bad. And I remember watching it play out, and I told everybody on the panel, I was like, do not challenge him. Don't do it. Just it's the charity's the most important thing. I don't want to derail this. I don't want to create any more controversy than we already have. We'll deal with it. And it was awful. It was the worst thing I've ever dealt with in my professional life. It was awful. And it bothered me to the point where it affected my ability to lead, because I questioned the decision to even get involved with him, because I'm like, why did I let this happen? Why did I do? Now, again, we ended up raising $110,000 when it's all said and done.
That's why right there.
Yeah. And unfortunately, there were a lot of people that literally have made this their livelihood to shit on me and to shit on Geeks and Gamers over the Zack Snyder situation for the past year. And people that, you would think were my friends, they've just made that part of their shtick to just go, oh yeah, Geeks and Gamers, Zack Snyder, Jeremy put us in a bad spot. I can't believe, the culture war and all that. It's like, you never talked about my channel in the past 6 months until you could, clickbait me off Zack Snyder. So you find out who your friends are in that situation. But I'm past it now. But the next day, Variety, I think, one of these top tier sites wrote an article about it, calling us an alt-right YouTube channel. Says Zack Snyder disassociates from alt-right YouTube channel. And I was like, oh boy, here we go. You know what I mean? And they got ratioed to hell and back when they did it. But it was huge, man. It was huge. And to point out, like, there are so many people that have had my back through it all, though, but it was so tough. It was so hard for us to deal with that. But the shining moment of all of it, the shining moment, the thing that honestly made it easy to deal with, was someone found out what happened, and they decided to go on Twitter and tag Geeks and Gamers and specifically point out how much we raised. And that was Gina Carano. Gina Carano found out what happened. Gina Carano found out what happened, and she said, no, the Geeks and Gamers needs love and respect for what they just did. They raised all that money for suicide prevention. And I'm like, she has no idea. I've expressed this, multiple times, though. Like, she'll never know what type of impact that had on me and Geeks and Gamers in that moment, because we were shell-shocked, bro. We were shell-shocked. I did a stream like directly after that. I had to private because it was so fucking bad, because we did a stream like right after it all went down, and it was a bad stream. Like, we had like 9,000 people watching us. It was a bad stream because I was overwhelmed with what had just happened. You know what I mean? And so,
charity.
For charity,
you guys
man.
To do a good thing.
Yeah.
And they made it all about this political warfare that's like, why are we doing this? Like, we're just trying to help people. Yep. Dude, shout out to Gina Carano. That woman's
She's
awesome.
the best. She's the
amazing.
best. So that was it. What else do I want to say here? Zack Snyder privately would express that he didn't mean to link us together, but publicly he refuses to say it. That's Hollywood for you right there. That's Hollywood. Hollywood's a piece of shit. These people they're terrible.
They're
terrible people.
Weak.
Yeah.
That's so beta energy right there.
I have had so many people that have twisted this story up, people that have loved to commentate on it, which I have a video on my channel that I have broke down every piece of this puzzle. I even showed the clip where he publicly went on a stream and linked Geeks and Gamers to him, not me. I showed all of it. But the people that have wanted to criticize me about it, they never watched that video because they're not in it for
truth.
They're in it to try and spin a negative narrative about me and Geeks and Gamers. But now that a year has passed, it's like it was tough to deal with this for the first, few months. It was really tough.
Yeah.
But now I'm over it, and we've been over it for a long time. But it was tough in the first few months afterwards. But now we have moved forward. We're killing it, and
yeah, you are.
It was a bump in the road, which we all have to deal with.
Yep.
So
everyone's got bumps.
Yes.
And I am happy for your success, man. You really deserve it. And honestly, that's what people should focus on. You did a good thing. And fuck the haters.
I'm very proud of that, bro. I mean,
dude, all right. I got lots of super chats.
$110,000.
That's amazing. That is a lot of money.
In less than 2 hours, Adam.
Damn.
That's the Geeks and Gamers team.
Bravo.
That's the Geeks and Gamers community right there.
Yep. So. Exactly. And that's not political. These people need things to be political because they need to weaponize people's emotions essentially, and that's what they did. They whipped up people's emotions, and they're like, we need to bring Geeks and Gamers down. And I could see why you're so vigilant in reminding everyone, like, we got Uche. I know there's other people that don't agree with you, but it's like to have someone to that extreme, it's like we don't all agree, and that's okay. We don't need to all agree. We will never all agree. That's reality. That's human beings. That's just the way it should be.
I prefer people that don't agree with me. I like arguing. I like being challenged.
I know you do.
Go into my chat. Like, all I do is get roasted when we play video games. It don't matter if I do good. You know what happens in my chat?
Because you're not very good, so.
You know what if I win, I'm hacking, and if I lose, I suck, and I shouldn't play video games in the first place. My chat never supports me, but that's how it should be.
I've rooted for you in Mario Kart and gotten disappointed horribly many times. But that's okay. No, actually, you and I'll be honest, you and I raced very similarly in Mario Kart because I watched the way that you race, and that's the same way I race. I'm very good at the drifting and boosting out into a drift. Now that I got that bumper shit turned off, bro.
Oh, game changer.
Watch. I'm joining you guys. By the way, I joined them on Sunday, last Sunday. Finally. He's been
finally. Yeah, I mean, it only took like 7 fucking months, but finally got him on there. So.
And I have to sit here and play like this. I'm like, yeah, guys, I'm playing, because I don't have the dock. I can't find it. But that's all right. I'll be joining you guys again. I'm looking forward to it. I do, real quick before I get into super chats, what's your, and I want to put maybe top 3 favorite games of all time?
Eliminate Mario Kart from the equation because those usually take up all the. So,
sure.
So you have Super Mario World on the Super Nintendo. You have Half-Life 2.
Great game.
Half-Life 2. And honestly, Half-Life 2 is probably my favorite. Like, Half-Life 2 is such an experience that it has not been replicated to this day, in my opinion. And it stands up like it holds. Yeah.
Like when it came out, it was like, wow.
Yes.
Like, this is amazing. Yes. Yeah, I totally understand that.
Yep.
Okay.
And obviously I always it's so hard to pin it down to 3, but we're eliminating Mario Kart from it. And I don't like to double up on franchises because Super Mario Galaxy and Super Mario World are neck and neck, but I'll give it to Mario World right now. But then you got Half-Life 2. And then if I'm eliminating all this, it's probably God of War 3.
God of War 3. I've only played God of War 1.
Oh God, dude, you gotta play God of War 3. Oh,
I didn't even play the newest one.
The newest one's great too, but God of War 3 is Kratos is the most badass character ever. This dude's brutality in God of War 3 and some of the boss battles is next level, dude. So
I remember you chose him as your main protagonist.
Oh, he's the best, dude. But you gotta play. They have a God of War 3 remaster that you can play on PlayStation 4.
Okay.
Play it.
All right. Well, if I can get it on my PS5, I don't.
Pretty sure you can.
I don't play the PS4 anymore. Just kidding.
God of War 3 is it's so good, dude. Kratos is such a savage.
All right, we got some super chats. Let's get into them. Robert Wiles says, "I hope this makes Betty smile and Dan and Francisco smile." And Jeremy, if you ever need a fake leg to toss at anyone, let me know. All right, he'll send you a fake leg. You both have a blessed soul. Thank you very much, Robert.
Thank you.
He actually just sent his former leg. He called it the leg of doom to Quarter Black Garrett. Probably in the PO box. Now, he might have it now. I don't even know. Spreader of Dissidents. Thank you very much. We got a new member. I appreciate that support. All you members in chat. Let's see the UFOs spinning. In fact, you know what? It's been a while. Let me spin this here UFO.
Let's do it.
Darth Call, what up, dog? How you doing? He says, "What up, lads? May the force serve you well in the discussions to come. Cheers." Thank you very much. Appreciate you, sir.
Darth Call, I believe Darth Call knew of Geeks and Gamers before we really blew up, before we became prominent on YouTube. I think so. I'm pretty sure Darth Call reached out to me back in the Facebook group days, if I'm not mistaken.
Cool. Maybe. I don't
Darth
know.
Call, if you're still here, you can confirm that. It was very early on that I initially made contact.
If you're still here, just send me a message on Discord, because then I'll know quicker. But that's cool. I want to know about that. Drunk 3PO, who's this guy, says, "Does D-Day have a channel? I like his flow." I don't know why I said that.
You can subscribe to me on Drunk 3PO.
In the Discord, in the description below, you can find all of this man's channels, and not even all of them actually. That's a lie, because there's a lot more. I was like, this is enough. You can find him though. Lady Freddy, thank you for that little, I don't know, what is it? A dancing pair celebrating super sticker. Appreciate you. Jason Dixon says, "So yesterday I was muted, stopped from speaking. It's said by a mod or owner. That's so weird."
We've seen some funky stuff happening in the chat, like Google moderators jumping in there.
Dude, and that actually, someone else, Diana Francisco, another one of my regulars in chat, was blocked from chat, and then midstream got unbanned or something. I don't know, man. That's some weird stuff. Jason, it was not me. I would never do that. He's in fact the one who got me this dope bell that I ring for members. Nice. Holy crap, George for $100. George, thank you so much. George is actually joining me on Tuesday. Yes. And we're going to dig into his story. I'm really excited about it. He says, "All hail to Adam Crigler, whose insight and acumen entertains and informs. One free voice to set people free from society's braces, strangling the brain. And all hail to the Emperor Mind Control Jeremy, ruling the universe from his headquarters at G&G. Always forever, always forward." Thank you, George. That's a toasty.
The mind control one. We haven't talked about that one in a long time. That was funny. So
thank you so much, George. Really looking forward to talking to you on Tuesday. Devil Dog Cog says, "Jeremy, neither of you nor Adam can beat me in Smash." True, I don't play that game. I'm not interested.
I love Smash Bros, but I'm not good at it, so I never claim I'm good at it. Johnny64 might have something to say, and Krista Nova's pretty good at it too.
Cool. Yeah, I'm not a fan. Not a fan. Tim Pool's really good.
Is he?
Smash. Yeah, he's really good at Smash Bros.
Wow.
Yeah, he's a gamer. He doesn't talk about it much. He doesn't, but he's a gamer. He's pretty good at games. We used to do Destiny raids. Destiny 1. Me and him used to play Destiny a lot. The Last Crow said, "Loved this collab. Keep up the great work." Thank you, Last Crow. I appreciate that. Gerald Armstrong says, this is local to me, but I don't understand why Trump endorsed Dr. Oz. Big mistake. Well, trust in your gut doesn't always mean trusting other people. And that's one thing I learned about Trump. He doesn't trust the right people a lot of times. I think that was one of his downfalls.
Yeah, I definitely think that. I don't think that's a good endorsement, but I do think overall, like if you look at his overall endorsements, they've been fairly good. They've been pretty good, generally speaking. You don't get me wrong, he's made some mistakes too, but I also think that we're not really giving him enough. We're not taking into consideration how bad Hollywood, same thing though, how bad Washington is and how corrupt it is. So you're going to have to get some dirty, nasty people to surround yourself with in the process. And I do think that he had some bigger plans to take things to another level with the second term. Just didn't happen.
I agree. I mean, Dr. Oz, though, anyone who's who's
Yeah, he's
for pushing trans on kids, that whole movement. I'm like, I am just not about it, man. I can't do it.
Nah, that dude, that was a terrible endorsement from Trump. So
I agree. Darth Call again says prequels aged like fine wine. Oh, how the turntables.
yes.
Oh yeah. Darth Call again. Jeez, thank you, Call. Says, holy schnikes. I have that exact same Mario Kart artwork Jeremy has in the background. My brother bought it for me for Christmas. Oh, is that on your the bottom right? Oh, look at that.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't even notice that. That's cool.
Yeah.
Nice. That's
awesome.
classic right there.
I love those. Yeah, I love those.
Very cool. America 76. I like the name for 2022. Thank you so much. Says both of you should look into Gamergate, a definite precursor to the phenomenon of 2016. A lot of apolitical gamers / geeks were pulled into the culture war. The internet aristocrat, Mr. Medicor, videos were great. Yeah, I should look into it. I don't know anything about Gamergate.
I've looked into it some just because it's become such a prominent thing. But yeah, Medicor is awesome.
Yeah.
So,
I don't know Medicor. I don't know. I heard the name before.
Medicor's a legend, dude.
Yeah.
So just in general, just not just from Gamergate. So Medicor's just a legend. So that guy, I would never want to be on the opposite end of a debate with Medicor. So,
good to know.
He's good. He's good.
Chapter Master Dante for 10. Thank you so much. Says, yo, Jeremy, been following you since the High Council days.
Woo!
You still keep in touch with Jeff and Evs or EVS?
EBS. Yeah. So High Council, that was a big show a big weekly show that we used to do back in the day, rotated between mine, Ethan, and World Class's channel. And so I stepped away from that years ago and to focus on Sports Force. And at the time, Sports Force had no following, and now it's got a pretty good following. But yeah, man, those guys, Ethan's doing great things in the Comics Gate world, and I know Jeff's been doing a lot of different stuff with his different paths that he's taken. So yeah, nothing but love for those guys.
Nice. Redoubt Productions for 10. Thank you so much. Says, hail, Adam and Jeremy. As a history buff, I feel a core issue in present America lies in open disrespect towards history, not only in the education, but also our beloved franchises. Thoughts? I agree 100%.
Yeah.
How do we learn if we, get rid of history? I mean, history is how we learn. That's how we get better, is knowing what's wrong, what's right.
That's the thing, is they're trying to erase history so that we don't learn from it.
Correct. There's no source material.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
We just have to copy the entirety of. I mean, let's be honest. It's A New Hope remade, right? The episode 7 was basically episode 6, or no, episode 7 was basically episode 4 remade, and I liked it when I first watched it. I'm not gonna lie,
I loved it.
When I first watched it, I was like, dope. Like, I didn't even care that they remade it. I was like, but then I saw the next movie, and I was like, wow, like they really don't give a shit anymore about it. And then it was just downhill from that. The last movie was absolutely horrendous. My goodness.
Yep.
Jorge Barracuda for 10. Thank you. Says, hail, two of my favorite toxic white males, Adam and Jeremy. Always enjoy Adam's appearances on Tuesday night's main event. Keep kicking butt and taking names, fellas. And let's go, Brandon.
Let's go, Brandon.
My God, that man is embarrassing. Did you see him today? Did you see that?
I didn't
video?
see him. I saw some clips going around, and I did not watch it yet. So
I'm gonna force it on you. I'm forcing it on you right now. Hold on. I have to do it. I'm not even sorry, because I kind of want to see and hear your reaction to this man talking right now.
I can't wait now. God, he's so embarrassing.
Geez, I don't even know which one to show. All right, there's one where he's basically saying, we're out of money, so let's send more. let's send more weapons to Ukraine. But this one's This one's just glorious. Here, let me pop this up.
Oh boy. Here we go. Look at that man's eyes. Can't hear it. You didn't share audio.
Oh, I didn't? Okay.
Nope. Don't you love it? It should default to it, and you have to unshare it.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, here we go. There's a longer version of this, but I'm not going to succumb us to it.
We're going to seize their yachts, their luxury homes, and other ill-begotten gains of Putin's kleptocracy. Yeah, kleptocracy. The guys who are the kleptocracies.
The guys who are the kleptocracies.
Oh my God.
Who do you think he looked at? Because he's trying to talk to the camera, and then he's like, "Oh, I'm messing up." It's probably his wife. It's probably Jill. She's probably like, kleptocracy.
Oh my God, dude. The man is not. Yeah, it's
Dude, he is not there. He is gone. There's more too. I'm not gonna force you to watch more stuff, but it's bad. But let's go, Brandon. Hey, yo.
Let's go, Brandon.
Carnell for 10 says, after being exposed to Jeremy and Geeks and Gamers channel in 2020, I've been astounded at the content and work ethic from the team ever since. I'm so excited to hear Jeremy tell his story on the Crigler Show. Hail, Geeks and Gamers.
That's awesome.
Hell yeah, Carnell. Appreciate you, mate.
I hope the story Geeks and Gamers inspires anybody to create your own stuff out there, because like I said, I was second guessed. And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying, because I have an amazingly supportive, like inner circle of people in my life, but
yeah,
it's just genuine. Like, you're obviously just going to look at it and go, yeah, we know you're doing something here, but like, coworkers or whatever, like, what are you doing, bro? Or having, just social, when you're out in the world with social meetings and people, you're like, well, what do you do for a living there? I'm like, I work at this, shitty job, like, really? They kind of look at you weird because they don't know, or, oh, you have a gaming website there, huh? Do you, buddy?
Don't get me wrong. I question you all the time. So,
well, and as you should.
No, I'm just kidding.
I know.
Corey Havoc says, how does one become affiliated with Geeks and Gamers? Been making videos for almost 10 years.
Woo.
Figure it's time to try branching out a bit.
Yeah. What's your YouTube channel? What was it?
Corey Havoc.
Corey
Coreyhavok.
All right, I'll check it out.
There you go. That's how it's done. Low Watermark for 25. Thank you so much. Low Watermark says, good stuff, guys. Thank you.
Low Watermark's awesome.
Thank you very much. That's a cool name too. It's unusual. You don't Low Watermark. It's like, makes you think, what does it look like? It's always I like names that make you visualize something. That's great. I like that. David, I did not want to butcher your last name, so I'm not even going to try it. But thank you. He says, found G&G through EFAP. What's that? I don't know what that is.
EFAP. That's Mahler. Every frame applause. Yep.
Oh, okay, cool. I know Mahler. I like his takes. We haven't met yet, but Jeremy is a verbal terrorist in the hate mongers of Toxic Brood.
Hate monger of Toxic Brood. Oh boy, that's some old school EFAP lore right there.
Nice.
It's funny because go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was just gonna say thanks for tuning in, but
yeah, the EFAP thing is it's a funny story because I greatly have nothing. I have nothing but respect for Mahler, and I think he's such an awesome guy, and he is a great guy. But before I ever spoke with them privately, I just was like, I hope I never get ripped apart by these guys. And then one of them actually criticized my review for Aquaman because I really liked Aquaman, the first one, and one of them criticized it, and I was like, I really don't want to go to war with these guys, but I got to keep up the freaking, I got to keep it up. I can't back down. So I went back in big time and just, was a sarcastic asshole. And one of them they sent me an email, and he's like, that's a response I would expect from you. I appreciate that. And we got into a big discussion, and then I came on EFAP, and we've been friends ever since. But I was like, how the hell? I had no idea. I was like, this is going to be really good or really bad. To come back at these guys, but I couldn't back down.
Yeah, I really wanted to like Aquaman, and it's just so bad. I wanted to like it, because I don't know why. There's parts of it I like, and then there's just some parts where I just have to just be like, oh my god, that's so cheesy. I will not be watching Aquaman 2. Even honestly, even if they get, well, maybe if they get rid of Amber Heard, I'll watch it like online. I'll stream it eventually. But if Amber Heard's in that movie, I'm good. That's all I have to say about
that
that.
whole thing is
Yeah,
a lot.
There's almost 2 million signatures on that change.org to get her off. Matthew Hammond says the worst is when you are listening to an IGN podcast and they bring up Trump for seemingly no reason. These people are ruining the industry because they're told to.
That's it.
That's what they want. Yep, they're paid for that. Carnell again for 10 says, I'm the super chat responsible for the epic Tuesday night main event debate between Jeremy and Ripa over Resident Evil games. I remember that. I was there. I was the referee, actually.
That was
Ripa
good.
lost the debate, but Jeremy still sucks at Mario Kart.
That's the only way to compliment me, by taking another shot at me. So
there it is. Couldn't lift you up with it. I gotta bring you down a peg too.
that's the way we roll, man. So it all came from like, and again, this was back during the, I guess you could call, like, how WWE has like all of these eras, like the golden age, the attitude era, the ruthless aggression era. I would say that's my ruthless aggression era, the first 100,000 subs to Geeks and Gamers, because man, I was just savage. But it got to the point where I would see these people hating on me. So then I encouraged everybody that was a fan of the channel. I'm like, if you see someone criticizing me, criticize me even more, just to offset them criticizing me. So then you have to make them go, no, I really fucking hate Jeremy. Your guys are just troll them with criticism of me because it doesn't bother me, to force them to say even the most horrific things about me, and it would work. So then it got to the point where the cancel Jeremy thing was a big deal, and then then you would see people coming like, what do you want to cancel him? Because they didn't get the joke. Like, it's a big joke of like criticizing me constantly, and I love it. So
I like that. That's interesting. Troll the trolls with trolling by trolling. Death by troll. Sean Strickland says, you all raised all this money for a great cause, and he threw you under the bus immediately. I still remember Ryan's face. Yeah, that's a crazy story, man.
It is, and I did make an apology to the thing about apologizing to our audience and our fans, because like I said, I took full responsibility for putting us in that position, and they probably felt really slighted. I know they felt very slighted in that moment when he did that, and that's what really affected me. So it did affect me for months about the content on the channel and what I was doing. It affected my decision making just because I was second guessing myself, but obviously, no long-term impact. And in fact, we've done nothing but grow from that in terms of, our numbers and everything, but it sucked. And, but that's Hollywood for you.
Yep.
You live and learn. Well, as I say, mistakes are not mistakes if you learn from them.
Correct.
If you learn from a mistake in life, which we will all make them. I'll probably make 5 of them as soon as the stream ends. Like, we're all going to make mistakes. We just do. But if you learn from the mistake, it's not a mistake. It's a learning opportunity. If you keep making the mistake, then it absolutely is a mistake. So learn from them.
I like it. Red Mage 13 for $20. Thank you so much. Says, Jeremy, props to you. Geeks and Gamers and Nerdrotics for the main event and Friday Night Tights. You guys are the type of people I used to love talking pop culture with. At least you and a large audience still believe in what makes things great before wokeism. I like it.
Appreciate that.
Yeah.
Appreciate that. Great
shows. I agree 100%. Brad W for 10. Salty Geeks, Crigler, Ripa, and Johnny Massacre are my top listens. Real people won't sell out for money. Johnny would be a great addition to your team. America loves British DJ in Japan. Oh, America loving British DJ in Japan. What an interesting combination.
Yeah.
And America loving British DJ in Japan. Cool. They probably love him out there.
They've been telling me about him. I need to look further into it.
That's, of course, Johnny Master.
Yeah, and shout out to Salty. Salty Cracker is amazing.
Dude, he's great. Yeah, Salty's great. Yep. And shout out to the Salty Army too, because they are huge supporters of mine as well. I really appreciate that whole crew. Jay Hailstorm simply says hashtag cancel Jeremy. Dude, listen to you whenever I pop into a stream, I swear, every single time, the first thing I hear is "fuck Jay Hailstorm." Ah, and it's always him killing you or be hitting you with a red shell or something. I don't know. It's very.
That's what we
entertaining.
do, man. That's what we do.
No,
Just
that's
yell
what
at
he
each other.
does.
I
That's
know.
what he
He's
kills
a
me.
horrible person. He's a horrible person. Needs to be stopped.
It's pretty good. It's pretty funny. Bill Nye, the authoritarian guy, says we have all bumps as long as they aren't between your legs. Oh my goodness. Thank you, Bill Nye, the authoritarian guy. Robin Savvy Skoglund for 10. This is my mother, by the way. Jeremy,
Nice.
Friday Night Tights. I dig it, man. You dudes are my Friday night gut busting, chortling, hee-hawing end of the week party after Adam's show, of course. Love you guys.
Of course. Well, thank you very much. Appreciate
thank
that.
You. Yeah, she's got priorities in her life. So, Captain Ridiculous Awesome Sauce says this super chat's from Spreader of Dissidents. YouTube acting suspicious AF. Yeah, I'm not surprised because YouTube loves me a lot. That's why they've given me 5 strikes.
Your channel is very much loved by YouTube.
Yeah, I can't wait for the algorithms to be opened up like Twitter. Elon, please buy
Game
YouTube.
changer. Please
buy it.
Please.
Sejong the Great says, "Woo! Thursday, Adam, and my favorite Mario Kart sore loser." I just had a super chat. Oh, there it is. Ha! Anyway, it's been a good show. And anyone heard about the new disinformation ministry? Yes, I'm going to be talking about that tomorrow on my show. Absolutely crazy. We do not have the time to get into that right now, though.
Nope.
Sejong, again, thank you, Sejong. The media savages people backed by Trump. 4D chess. The media savages people backed by Trump. Yes. Yeah.
Yep.
True. 4D chess. What, you think that's Trump move to like back Oz so that they? I mean, it's not working for JD Vance. He's like ahead by like 20%.
Yeah.
So,
I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't think so either. Not Tim says, I think Adam is incorrect. Even when he's right, he's wrong. Oh, memories. Anyway, Vasidius says that Biden clip, plus him doing a senile George Washington laugh, George W. Bush laugh. The adults are back, huh? Yeah, well, he's an adult, but adults become senile eventually. So
that's right.
He's technically still an adult. Shadow Fenry says, "Hail, Adam and Jeremy. I spoke to Ryan on this, but I can't decide on a brand name for reviews and etc. Can I email you, Jeremy, on a second opinion?" Yeah, what is your email? Would it find it down below somewhere?
DDayCobra@gmail.com.
Easy to find. And send it my way too if you want. It's the Crigler Show at Gmail. You can hit me up. Vasidius says, did happen to see the Alec Baldwin interview or Rekieta's coverage. I still can't believe he didn't have his lawyer with him. I don't know much about that. I did see that video floating around of him with his finger on the trigger. I don't even know. I don't know if that's when it happened. I haven't really been paying attention because I really don't care about Alec Baldwin. It's just not something I really care about. But anyway, that was the super chats. Jeremy, thank you so much for joining me. That was a lot of fun.
Thank you, man. It was a pleasure to be here. Pleasure to be, on and, speak with you and, get to be introduced to your audience here directly on your channel. So, yeah, man, I'm sure it'll be the first of many times that you'll see me over here. And obviously we have Adam on Geeks and Gamers a lot. So look forward to having him on for Splatoon, even though he's going to wait till 3 because he's too scared to get Splatoon 2.
Shut up.
So, I mean, I'll buy $60 worth of coffee if I can get you to get Splatoon 2. I mean,
okay.
We got like 5 months.
Show me the receipt. I'll get it.
So I'll do it right now. Done. I'll just send you a $60 super chat. Actually, no, I'll send you 80. Okay,
damn it.
Send you 80 to offset. Okay, let me find it. Okay, so we'll do it right now. Okay, just so we can shut you up.
Shit.
So
all right.
You on Splatoon. Okay, here we go. All right, $80. Okay.
Okay.
80. Buy Splatoon 2. There we go. All right.
Oh no. Oh no, is this
There it
about to
is.
happen? Does this just happen? I
right,
don't
there
see
it
it.
goes.
I'm not getting the super chat. Oh, we got it. DDayCobra for $80. Thank you so much, DDayCobra. Buy Splatoon 2. Well, I have no more excuses. I guess I have to get Splatoon 2. All right, I'll get it. I'm right after.
The
Shit, you know
pressure
what?
is on. Okay. So every Wednesday
doing
on
it.
the
I'm gonna do it.
Gaming with Geeks YouTube channel, Gaming with Geeks, and on Twitch, Geeks and Gamers, we play Splatoon 2. So there
All
you
right,
go.
I'm gonna get it. Wow, you guys needed one more person last night too. I would have joined you if I had it.
There you go.
But that's hilarious. You know what? I'll give you some dings for that. That's fantastic. Guys, if you want to see him more, down in the description below, all of his channels, his personal Twitter, Geeks and Gamers, his personal YouTube, the Geeks and Gamers channel. Definitely go check it out. Definitely go support him. Friday Night Tights, Tuesday night's main event. If you guys don't know these shows, you're missing out on YouTube. Definitely the best shows on YouTube. Second to mine, of course, right? Because I can't throw myself under the bus. I'm the best show. No, I'm not. Seriously, Friday Night Tights is my favorite show, hands down. Sean, one more
It's
super chat
awesome.
says, when will they make a G.I. Joe themed Call of Duty?
Oh man, I would love if that happened for sure.
They're not
I don't think
gonna
it's
do that,
going to
though.
happen, but I would love if that happens. The
All
easiest way to find all of the channels is go to geeksandgamers.com and there's a channels tab, and that gives all the channels that the branded channels. So except for the tabletop, I need to add that there. But tabletop's live right now. So if you guys are interested, Geeks and Gamers tabletop is live for their episode number 4. And they've got
snaps.
almost fun. So yeah, that show's been doing great, man. So if you guys want to go check them out, go give them a raid. Geeks and Gamers tabletop.
Let's
live
do that.
right now.
Let's go raid Geeks and Gamers tabletop. Who's in there right now? Look, we got
Ryan, Blabs, Disparu, Epic Mike.
Sleep, so you guys probably are sleeping for a total
There we
of 10
go.
hours.
Here they are right here. All right, so it's really easy to find. I'm gonna
Um,
turn this off so you can't hear him here, but yeah, it's Geeks plus Gamers tabletop. Go rate them. Tell them you were sent by Adam, not Jeremy. I want all the credit. So go, so go rate them. Go say hello. Go enjoy yourself. Epic Mike's hilarious. I see Nerdy Holmes in there.
Yeah, and to be clear, I don't think there will be too much addressing the chat until they get in between moments. So if they don't acknowledge you, don't take it. Like I think they're in character right now, so just to be aware of that. So yeah,
cool.
Go support those guys. They're great. So they're doing a fantastic job over there.
Jeremy, thank you very much. Everybody, I will see you tomorrow for my jam, Friday Night Jams, and talk about some of the stuff that's going on in the world. So thank you very much, everybody, and I will see you all next time. Good night.